first video for my new channel, toDIYfor. So it's going to be all about creating lots of easy, fun DIYs, decor, clothing, you name it. I want to make it, and for very, very cheap. And the very first one that I want to start with is one that's actually decorating my room right now. You can see them. I got this idea, it was inspired by a wedding that I went to last year. A girlfriend of mine, you walked into the reception and it was just covered in these beautiful, big, fluffy tissue balls in all sorts of colors, and it looked incredible. So I asked her, and she said that they made them all, and that it was really, really easy to do. Not to mention really cheap. I think I made 5 of these tissue puff balls is what I'm going to call them, and it maybe cost me $2. So we're gonna get to that DIY now. So all you need is tissue paper, whatever color you want to use, some scissors, some thumb tacks to hang the balls up when you're done, and of course some string to hang them up with as well. So first off, I'm starting off with my yellow tissue paper balls, and this is a full package of tissue paper, so this is 20 sheets all together. This piece is already pre-cut. I would say it's about 30 centimeters wide, and that's just how big I wanted my tissue paper balls to be. And you can make these whatever size you want. So to start off, you're going to make about a 1-inch fold along the width of the tissue paper, and you're going to go back and forth and make it look like an accordion. So just keep going along that tissue paper and making those 1-inch folds back and forth. When you get towards the end, it's not that big of a deal if the last little one is a little bit shorter than the rest of them, maybe not quite as wide as the 1 inch. It will all disappear when you're done and doing the fluffing in your tissue ball. So I did white as well, and I wanted to make my white ball a little bit smaller than the yellow ball that I was making. So I'm just cutting this piece here. It's about 15 centimeters wide, and I would suggest not making the balls any smaller than that because it does get very difficult when you go to the fluffing stage. So again, making that 1-inch fold along the width of the tissue paper, and you're going to go back and forth and make that accordion. So here I'm just grabbing some clear jewelry string. That's just what I had at home. I'm using this to hang the balls because it will kind of disappear in the walls once I hang them from my ceiling. Some other things that you could use include fishing line. You could also use maybe some white thread. It's very thin, so it will kind of disappear when you're hanging it up on the ceiling. And what you're going to do is tie this right around the middle of your tissue accordion. And you do want to do a double knot here and try and make that knot as tight as you possibly can. And you also do want to make sure that that is in the center of the accordion, because if it's not, your tissue ball is going to be a little bit off center and maybe be more like an oval instead of a circle. So here's a way to test to make sure that it is in the middle. Very simple, just pull both of those sides up on the side, and as you can see, they meet and they match. So it was in the center of your tissue fold. Now we have to cut all of these edges before we head onto the fluffing stage, and this just makes the tissue ball look a little bit more flowery. Yeah, we'll go with that. So I'm cutting a half semicircle here along the side, and I'm doing each one separately only because it's a lot of tissue paper to cut through. It can be a little bit tough to do it all at once, and my scissors kind of suck. So make sure you do that on both sides, just a half semicircle with each little fold of the accordion, and it's going to look like a semicircle at the edge when you're all complete. So that's what one side looks like, and don't forget to flip it over, and you do need to do the other side still. So once you're complete with that, it should look something like this. You have your semicircle cut at the top of your accordion, and we can get to fluffing. So this is the part that does take a while. I would say probably close to 10 minutes is what it took me to fluff this tissue ball up. So do be patient and do be very careful. Tissue paper rips very easily, obviously, so you have to be gentle as you are pulling these layers apart, and make sure you are doing one piece of tissue paper at a time. That is why it takes so long, but trust me, it will pay off. It makes your ball much more fluffy and full, and that's exactly the way you want them to look. So I would suggest going back and forth and doing one piece of tissue paper from each side, only because if you were to do one full side all at once, the tissue ball might get kind of uneven. So as you can see, as we're getting towards the end, you can be a little bit more rough with it, and it's really starting to take shape, but might look a little bit strange right now. Don't worry, we are going to just finger through that with our hands and kind of fluff it up, pull it apart, and make it more into a circle. So as you can see, it's pretty easy to do, and you're just pulling apart those sections that are maybe a little bit more dense and pulled together. And it's as simple as that. That's it.
You're feeling good, you're feeling right. Across the floor and I'm already losing my mind. Baby girl, looking fine. Watch you playing and playing and playing these guys. Catch my stare, little smile, tell me that you're ready.
So pretty simple, right? That is what toDIYfor is all about. Every single week putting out a new DIY video for you, whether it be jewelry, clothing, maybe more decor. Probably more decor because I just moved into my new place and my walls are looking a little bit bare. But if you do have any ideas of something maybe you want me to try, I'll go ahead and give it a whirl. Leave it in the comments below, and you can also tweet me at Janelle Steeper. You can follow me on Instagram at Janelle Steeper with any of your ideas, or if you want to share some of your own DIYs with me. Hey, if you try the tissue balls, let me know. I want to see them. Tweet me those photos and use the hashtag toDIYfor. So make sure you like, subscribe, and tune in next week for a new video. Cheers! Ah! Okay. Okay.